So here's the thing nobody tells you when you start using Claude Code. Every single session starts completely blank. No memory of your project, no memory of your preferences, no memory of the 3 hours you spent debugging yesterday. Gone. And honestly, most developers either ignore the memory system entirely, or they configure it so poorly it might as well not exist. One giant CLAUDE.md file with 800 lines of stuff? That's not memory. That's hoarding. But after testing dozens of configurations across real production projects, a clear pattern keeps showing up. The devs who actually get results, they all land on the same 3-level memory stack. Let me walk you through it. Think of it like human memory. You've got working memory, what you're actively thinking about, episodic memory, stuff that happened recently, and long-term memory, deep knowledge built up over years. Each one does something fundamentally different, and collapsing them all into one file, that's the #1 mistake. Here's the key insight. Level 1 loads every single session, so keep it lean, under 200 lines. Level 2 loads on demand, so it can be massive. And level 3, it never loads in full. Claude just queries it when it needs something specific. Persistent memory without burning your entire context window. So let's start with level 1, short-term memory. This is Claude.md plus auto memory, the stuff that's built right into Claude Code. And honestly, this is where 90% of developers stop. Claude.md is basically standing orders. Claude reads it before anything else. And it works at 4 scope levels: org-wide policies, your personal user preferences, project-level team standards, and local personal overrides that get ignored. They all stack. More specific files take precedence. Now, auto memory. This is where Claude takes its own notes. When you correct it, no, use PNPM, not NPM. It saves that. Discoveries, preferences, patterns, all stored as plain markdown you can review anytime by running /memory. The more you correct it, the smarter it gets. But here's a real trick for bigger projects. The .claude/rules directory. You split your instructions into topic files, code style, testing, API design, and scope them to specific paths. Your React conventions only load when Claude touches component files. Back-end rules only fire for API code. 0 wasted context. Now, level 2 is where things get really interesting. What about knowledge that spans multiple projects? Architecture decisions that inform every codebase you touch. That's where Obsidian comes in. Obsidian is free, local first, stores everything as plain markdown files. And here's the beautiful part. Claude Code reads Markdown natively. No plugins, no MCP servers, no API keys. You just point Claude at your vault and boom. It has your entire knowledge base. But the vault structure matters more than you'd think. Claude navigates by file name, so descriptive names are everything. I use 4 top-level folders: context for brand and stack info, architecture for patterns and conventions, learnings for stuff that broke and why, and references for API guides and client requirements. And the critical difference from level 1? Nothing loads at startup. Your vault can be 500 files deep without burning a single context token. Claude only reads what it actually needs. Connect it with the add dir flag or a symlink. Then add 1 line to your Claude.md. Check knowledge before complex tasks. That's it. But the most powerful pattern here? The self-improving learnings loop. After every big session, Claude appends what worked and what failed to a learnings file. Over weeks and months, this compounds. Your agent gets genuinely smarter. Agents that accumulate structured memory compound. Agents that don't, they plateau. Now here's the problem with levels 1 and 2. Claude has to know where to look. If the answer is buried in some learnings file from 3 months ago about Stripe webhooks, Claude might never think to check. That's what level 3 fixes. Pinecone is a vector database. It stores text as embeddings, high-dimensional vectors that encode meaning. So instead of searching by file name or keyword, you search by meaning. Ask, what do I know about Stripe webhook retries? And it finds the exact paragraph from that buried file, even if it never uses the word retry. So what goes in? Past conversation transcripts. Claude saves those as JSONL. Documentation chunks. Code snippets with their context. Decision logs. Why you chose convex over superbase. And bug reports with the exact error, cause, and fix. That last one is gold for future debugging. The integration works through an MCP server. Claude calls a memory search tool with a plain English query. The MCP server converts that to a vector embedding, queries Pinecone, and returns just the relevant chunks. Your context window stays clean. Only what's needed gets injected, not the entire knowledge base. And by the way, Pinecone's free tier gives you 100,000 vectors. For most individual developers, that's more than enough. You don't need to spend anything to get started with level 3. Okay, so the question everyone asks, Pinecone or Obsidian? Which one do you actually need? The answer is way simpler than most guides make it. Start with Obsidian. Add Pinecone when you need it. Obsidian is free. 5 minutes to set up. Completely local. Pinecone gives you semantic search across millions of chunks, but takes 30 to 60 minutes to configure and needs an MCP server. The honest truth? Most developers working on 1 to 3 projects will never need Pinecone. And here's the thing, they stack beautifully. Use Obsidian as your primary knowledge base, the wiki you actually maintain and edit. Then pipe everything into Pinecone as a search index. Write in Obsidian, search in Pinecone. Best of both worlds. All right, let's get practical. Here's the exact setup sequence. Level 1 today, 5 minutes. Level 2 this week, 30 minutes. Level 3 when you hit the limits of file-based search, about an hour. Level 1. Run/init in your project. It analyzes your code base and generates a starter CLAUDE.md automatically. Then add your build command, test command, and 3 to 5 coding conventions Claude should always follow. Create a personal CLAUDE.md at your home directory for preferences that apply everywhere. Done. Level 2. Install Obsidian. It's free on every platform. Create a vault with those 4 folders I showed you. Write 3 to 5 foundational files, tech stack, brand voice, architecture decisions. Then add a learnings file and tell Claude in your CLAUDE.md to append what it learned after every big session. That loop is everything. Level 3. Create a free Pinecone account, spin up an index, dimension 1536 for standard OpenAI embeddings. Install an MCP server. Configure it in your .claude.jnc with your API keys. Write an ingestion script to chunk and embed your existing knowledge. Then test it. Ask Claude what it knows about a topic from your vault. It should just work. Now let me hit you with the best practices that actually matter. Because a badly maintained memory system? That's worse than no memory at all. Rule 1. Keep CLAUDE.md under 200 lines. Every line burns context tokens every single session. Move details to the rules directory or your Obsidian vault. And write verifiable instructions. Use two-space indentation beats format code properly. Specific gets followed. Vague gets interpreted creatively. Audit your auto memory every month. Run /memory and review what Claude saved. Delete the outdated stuff. Correct wrong assumptions. Stale memory is genuinely worse than no memory. And consolidate your learnings weekly. Compress old entries into summaries. Keep the active file under 300 lines. And one more thing, separate brand from agent. Brand context lives in shared files. Agent rules live in per project configs. Never duplicate brand info across multiple Claude.md files. Also, remember auto memory is machine local. If you work on multiple machines, use syncthing or keep your Obsidian vault in a synced folder. If you want to skip the setup grind, the Claude Code Power User Kit has pre-built memory configurations, skill setups, and templates for this entire 3-level stack. Links in the description. $39 and you're running. And if you're building full agent workflows, not just memory but the entire pipeline, the AI Coding Agent Blueprints Kit gives you workflow templates that pair perfectly with this memory system. $49. Also in the description. So that's the full 3-level stack. Claude.md for every session. Obsidian for deep knowledge on demand. Pinecone for semantic search when your knowledge base outgrows file browsing. Start with level 1 today, 5 minutes. Add level 2 this week. And level 3 when you're ready. Your Claude Code sessions will never feel the same.